not bad. I hadn't had this beer before. A Night of Shadows Part 1 and 2. Pretty good. I liked it. It's just kind of, I suppose, fun quinky dink. Maybe you could use the word serendipity if you were so inclined. Then I was listening to the Loose Cannon Comics podcast almost right before I sat down to watch this episode, and complete quinky dink. They were covering Jack Kirby, and this episode is about Entrigan and his exploits, which Entrigan was created by Jack Kirby. So just happy happenstance. And they really go out of their way to Kirby it up in these two episodes. Entrigan's appearance is very Kirby-esque. But the thing that stands out to me the most on the nose Kirby is Morgana Le Fay and her costume with the mask and all that, because it has that metal, that the way he would draw like metal and face, kind of like a Silver Surfer thing. That's just pure Kirby, and it's a static image. I mean, it's a mask; it's not moving. So they really could bring out the Kirby detail, because of course comics are a series of still images. And with the way her hair was, I mean, those two really spoke Kirby. They have a shot in the beginning where he's first, Jason Blood is first attached to the demon, and they have like a change in shape. I mean, it's just his face, and it's so Kirby. Now, I'm always kind of at a loss. I mean, I know of Jack Kirby. I like Jack Kirby. But as DC is not one of the big two that I'm most well versed in, I really haven't read anything of his DC work, which I know to many is heresy. How dare you even think of calling yourself a comics book guy and not have read Kirby's DC stuff? It's on the list. You know how long that list is starting to get in this life? It's a long-ass list of things I need to do. And Kirby's DC stuff is certainly something I hope to examine in the future. What I like about this episode is that while they don't have Entrigan rhyme, I guess they thought maybe that would be a little too far or too dorky and it wouldn't work. I like that they made him such an asshole. Such an asshole. I mean, everyone gets tired of him. He's just a jerk to everyone. And it's so great. And what's cool about it is he's not wrong. All these horrible, harsh, bitter, nasty things he's saying, none of them are inaccurate. He tells Batman, don't trust the Martian Manhunter. He's been tainted. You can't trust him. Batman's like, I trust John with my life. Okay, I told you. And you almost want to go, hey, you do realize that if you weren't such a dick when you were talking about these things, maybe they would go over more better. Maybe you could get your message across. But Entrican is just so bullheaded, so single-minded, so tactless. And it's just entertaining to watch. I mean, if he was wrong all the time, that'd be one thing, but he's not. He's telling them exactly what's going to happen, exactly what they need to do, and they're just the way. But it's the way he's doing it that's causing the friction, and he's almost self-sabotaging in that way. It's interesting to watch a character. I love characters who are right, but for the life of them, they cannot convey. I mean, that's one of the things, reasons I, wow, talk about stumbling blocks to get to the point. Reasons I liked House, Hugh Laurie's television show, was because House was just such a fucker. But he was constantly right about stuff. And and you can almost go like, that's part of your problem is you're such a bastard. I did do some research on this because I did not much. I just wanted to make sure one. I was like, I just had to double check that Intrigan was created by Jack Kirby. I was 99% sure, but last thing I wanted to do was sit here and uh, start talking about things about Jack Kirby and not know what the hell I'm talking about. Why don't I just commit comic book fan suicide? But I did check, and I thought that this was the introduction of Intrigan in this episode, but I had forgotten, and I remember now that there was an episode in the Batman animated series run way towards the end where they did have Intrigan. So I like that they just. I mean, they don't reference it, but they just have Jason Blood walk into where a bookstore where this guy has been attacked or whatever. Batman's investigating, and there's no "Who are you?" It's just "Hello, Jason." Hey, hello, Batman. I mean, they have in the opener, they have it introduced well enough that we understand who this character is, so we don't need to retread it. We don't have to have him tell his backstory twice, or have some history. Or it's like, we had the origin story quickly relayed to us. The characters get together, plot forward. That's all. That's perfect. I mean, it's cool to dwell, and it's not even really about Intrigan and all that. I mean, again, LaFay, it really comes down to the main character. It's a Martian Manhunter story. I mean, it's got all this other stuff, the guest characters, and all the Kirby-esque stuff going on, but it's a Martian Manhunter story. At the end of it, his pull, Morgan Le Fay's pull on him, and taking this character whose one desire above all is if he could just go back and be with his family. That's always why the Martian Manhunter is a mopey character. He's always, at least in any modern interpretation, I've never seen him kind of happy and springy. He's always been kind of mopey and kind of just, I wish I could be with my family, but yada yada. I mean, he's noble, he has great integrity, he's a great character, but he always has this sadness about him, and it's really, they really hit it home where they talk about, he's talking to Batman about the pull Morgana Le Fay is having on him after the initial encounter and Batman gets hurt. And he's talking about how he wants to be with his loved ones again and they were taken away and how no one could understand that. Now, he doesn't know that he's being, on one level, on one level, he's pouring his heart out, and he doesn't realize he's being incredibly insensitive because I don't think John really knows Bruce's backstory at this point, but it's really telling that he has that conversation. What the writers wanted to do, they has that conversation with the character that is his only motivation, is that loss, that gaping wound of his loved ones. That is why Batman exists. And they don't and he doesn't have to go, how dare he doesn't say, how dare you, John, say this to me, you're not the only one. It's not brought up, it's just Batman has a look, and that's it. And that's really good. I hate to come back to this, but subtlety, a little bit of complexity, reasons for crap. They have, there's motivations are understood. Plot points are understood. This is, you don't have to go crazy with it. Just little things. I think they go to the, uh, I want to go be with my wife thing a little too much. They reuse the imagery a little too many times, where it becomes like, okay, all right, we get it. Uh, he wants to be with his family, and I like I like at the end when he lashes out. It's just, but the imagery keeps up, and it's the same imagery. If there's one real criticism is that that becomes real tired, kind of, towards the end. I'm like, okay, you don't have to show the image or the tunnel again. You can just hear her voice, or whatever, and that's cool. That's enough. And I like the parallel between the loss of his family into Batman, and then they have where Jason Blood sold out his fellows at Camelot for Morgana Le Fay, and not even really a promise of greatness, but he thought, they were in love. Well, he was in love. She was in I don't give a crap. Uh, and here, maybe on to greatness, and it's his desire beyond all just to be with her, and it bites him in the ass. And the Manhunter's fighting Etrigan, and he sees that, and he's almost still at the point where he's like, well, he still doesn't give a crap. If I give this to her, she can give me whatever I want. I don't care. Let the world burn. It doesn't matter. And he's almost there. I mean, it's like so close, and he just smashes the stone, and it kind of ends with it. And she's like, I could give you everything. He's like, price is too high. I can't do it. But it's that inching so close, and that he does. They don't do the thing. Oh, I mean, they do have him redeem in the last second, but it's not like he was playing along all the time. Trying to get her close. No, no, no. They played. He almost destroyed the world, and handed it over to this woman to fill this sense of loss that he has, and they don't shy away from that, and that's really cool. Uh, so that's all I got to say. That here we go on to the next one.